Sammy, how are you doing
Hello,
today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. All right, start off exactly like we did last time. We're going to start with some stretches so that we can prepare ourselves for what we're about to do. So let's reach for the ceiling. And then roll down slowly. I always imagine my body becoming slime. And it's just kind of or that oobleck stuff, you had as a kid.
Yeah.
Just kind of melt. And you can touch your toes because you're athletic. Okay, and then roll up, making sure that every little part of your spine is just popping right into place. Perfect. And roll your shoulders back. Awesome. And shake your hands out. Bend your knees. There's a kind of strange exercise that I'll probably have you do later, where you walk around like a gorilla.
Oh, cute.
Like this. Yes, I know. Amazing. But it helps release tension while you're singing because you're thinking about moving all the time instead of standing straight and singing. So kind of on that line, I would do the exercise we do where we tense every muscle in our body and then relax and feel that difference. Ready? And tense every muscle in our body and relax. And tense every muscle and relax. And then shake it off. Perfect. Okay, we're going to start off with some humming. So just, we'll just go up and down. Ready? So while you're doing this exercise, can you tell me kind of where your tongue is? Kind of a strange question.
It's kind of pressing is my lower teeth.
Yes, and that's where it should be at all times. The higher you go, the harder you're going to feel your tongue want to go back in your mouth to adjust for what you have to do for the height of the pitch, right? But you want to make sure it's always back into those lower teeth and it doesn't go anywhere. All right, so just keep going. Just an ooh. Yes, okay. We're going to do the lower register of our voice now. We're going to go, and I want you to release all of your muscles so it goes, and the tongue sticks out and everything.
Cute.
So you're kind of relaxing into that chest voice, and your voice might crack. It's okay. We've all been there. Ready? Go. One more. There you go. That's that chest voice. We can even do. And you'll feel it instead of vibrating up here or right here, you'll feel it vibrate right here. That's why it's called chest voice. It's because that's exactly what you'll feel it vibrate.
Amazing how that works.
Right? Crazy stuff. So put your hand on your chest right here and just do one and see if that's where it's vibrating. Go. Yes. See, it's kind of uncomfortable, but that's your chest voice.
Yes.
So
I found it.
Yes, relax into it and really feel it. It's almost it warms my heart singing in chest voice because it vibrates right there. Ready, go. Yes, beautiful. Now right here, you're probably going to start feeling some mix. It's going to vibrate less right here. Yes, but you can start to feel it kind of mix more. You can't always resonate right there because then you're it gets stuck, right? But it's important to realize that you've got that down there in your chest voice, and that where that break is right there in the mixed voice. So now we're going to do a lovely exercise. It involves some of that. So it's really going to work flipping into your head voice because you have to start off in very chesty. So, ooh, do, re, mi, re, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Okay.
It's okay if you don't get it the first time. It's kind of a complicated exercise, so I'll do it with you the first time. Here you go. Ooh, yes. Yes, and you can feel like this exercise really like your break becomes very visible. You're like, oh, there it was. I feel it. So just try and navigate that. You'll feel, when you feel it tighten, I just want you to think, no tension anywhere, just relax. You're going to hit the break, and it might cause your voice to crack, and that's okay. We'd actually rather it crack than you trying and get it to not crack so bad that you're having tension everywhere. So if it cracks, that's okay. Just try and let it go, just do its thing, just naturally slide down. So, yes, that was beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Let's do one more. Yes, beautiful. So those sort of exercises will help you really, even though we're doing it down here, there's also a break up here, and that same concept can be applied up here that we just did down here. Mm-hmm. So anytime you're about to hit this break right here, just lightly, just kind of come down into it, and don't try to force it to be smooth or force it to go down. Just kind of let your head voice. You did it in that exercise very nicely, where you allowed your head voice to just kind of float down into the chest register, and you didn't try to force anything or shove it anywhere. Okay, now we're going to talk about breathing for a little bit. So I noticed last lesson, sometimes we'd have trouble right at the ends of phrases. Sometimes we're running out of breath. You'd be totally good right up until the very end, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of breath. So really fast. It's a fundamental, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of it. We're just going to bring it to attention, and then we'll do an exercise. So what do you do when you're running out of breath? Can you describe to me the feelings and the thoughts going through your head?
There's a little bit of panic.
Yes, a little bit of panic.
Like, usually it's like not a whole lot of time to be able to like sneak a breath, because it's like getting close to the end of the phrase. So you get to this point where you're like squeezing everything right here, trying to push out like as much as you can.
Yeah. So there are two ways to think about it that might help you. So the first way is kind of what you talked about. Instead of panicking, push more air and sing louder, which kind of seems counterintuitive. You think, I'm running out of air, I need to conserve air, I need to not do that. But usually what happens when you do that is your lung collapses, because it's thinking, conserve, keep to myself. And so it collapses in on itself, and you have even less air. So it sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes when you get to the end of phrases and you're running out of breath, you have to sing louder and put more air through it, which seems like the total opposite of what you should do. You go like, no, I want to conserve. You'll be surprised, like, how much farther you can go on that little bit of breath. So another way to think about that is also, I think of like, kind of talked about yesterday, if you're grounded and you just kind of push out like this. Like if you were in, you like Star Wars, right? You've seen
I've never seen any of them.
No! Okay. You know what a garbage compactor is, though, right?
Yeah.
Where like the walls come in and they squish the garbage. If you were inside a garbage compactor, which is your lungs, in order to stop them from collapsing, you want to think of like bracing yourself against each wall and pushing back out on it. So you can sometimes think, it works two ways with students. Sometimes that helps students, sometimes that just creates more tension. So we'll have to see what works for you. But sometimes that image of like bracing yourself and pushing outward when you're almost out of breath helps them, produce more sound, produce more air, and not let their lungs collapse so that they run out of air.
Okay.
So we're going to do a fun exercise. I do not like this exercise, but it's going to
nice.
make us better. So we've got 4 counts. So, we'll start with 4. So you're going to go C, and we're slowly going to increase the number of for how long we do the S before we start So, in theory, you should have less and less breath each time we do this.
That
So we're going to
makes
start off with 4, and then we'll go to 8, and we'll go to 12. And we'll still be going kind of up and down the scale. I probably won't go very far because we're more focused on breathing. Because I think you have the basic, you know that like you're expanding outwards and you know what to do. I just think sometimes when you get to the ends of phrases, you're like, oh no, I'm running out of breath. So I want you to be able to be confident when you get to the ends of phrases and just push out and like, I got this, and make it to the end. So this first one should be easy for you. So we'll go.
So fa mi re do, right?
So fa mi re do. Yes. And we'll just go. So fa mi re do. And we'll start with 4, and you'll do it on an S. We might move to another sound that might get rid of more air, but for now, let's stick with an S, because that's pretty safe. So, there's our key, but we're going to go for 4 beats first. So, ready, go. You can do it on an E. That's a good idea. Right. One more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Good one. I can tell you were like about to die, but you made it to the end. Okay, let's go back down, and now let's do it for 8 counts and see how we do. You ready? I'll snap a little bit faster so you won't die. But really think about when you get to the end of that phrase. Think about pushing more sound and more air out instead of letting your lungs collapse.
Yeah.
Don't let your lungs go into fetal position because they're gonna want to go into fetal position. Ready, go. Yes. Oh yeah, we made it. Sorry. Ready, go. I tricked you. Okay, one more time. I think you can do it. Okay. Ready, go. Yes, alright. One more. Yeah, it's okay if you weren't in the right key. But do you feel that though?
Yes.
So when you get to the end of phrases, it's a lot more helpful to just like plant yourself and give out even more sound. Yes. And it helps you a lot more. It's so counterintuitive. Like as a singer, you're like, what the heck? I don't understand. Yeah, of course. Okay. All right, now let's look at your song. And we're going to be applying all those concepts that we just did in exercises. So whenever you get to ends of phrases, I really want you to think about pushing out instead of dying away. Even if like the dynamics, you know how sometimes at the end of phrases the dynamic gets softer?
Yeah.
Even when you see that, I would try and make sure that your air doesn't get softer. The dynamic might get softer, but make sure you're still threading air. Like if you were a magician and you had scarves in your sleeve, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, and just pull it out.
Yeah.
That's how your air should be all the time, no matter whether it's loud or soft. There should always be a ton of air coming through, or else you're not going to get any sound at all, right? Because you know how that works. Okay, so you said that the key changes in this song were what kind of threw you off? Okay, so we're just going to skip right to where there's a key change. Where it gets kind of high. Yeah. Love it. I love when there are two things at once. Okay. So, you're a smart musician, right? So you know that G sharp is going to be the same
as the
A flat.
Yes.
then it's always a little fun getting into the new key, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we did this a lot in choir, and we talked about that too. Since you know that's going to be that same note, I would already call it what it's going to be in this key. So, yeah, so. Yes. Hold on. Yes, you're in so. So you're going to call, even though in this key, you know, you're in, that's a law, I would just call it a so right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then so, 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 because you already have a really good, strong sense of solfege, so once your brain switches into the other set of solfege, it will know what to do, because it knows what so, fa, mi, re, do sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
You drilled it 1,000 times. So as long as you connect that for your brain and say, okay, and this is so now,
mm-hmm.
your brain will most likely be able to make the switch. So let's start right here, and let's see if we can get the key change. And then after that, we might talk about how to sing some high notes, because that might be fun. So, yes. Okay, so we're in the key of B, so this is. Alright, let's just sing. You know solfege or words?
Solfege.
Okay. Yes, correct. So you got into the key. Is it like the parts underneath you that confuse you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay, so they should actually help you establish the key, because they're about to, yeah. Except for the tenor. Gosh dang it, tenors. They should be able to help you out, because they go to your new key.
Okay.
So I wouldn't tune them out, actually. Okay. I would use them to help you, because they're going into your new key. One more time. I'm going to have you sing it, and I want you to do the gorilla walking.
Okay.
So it's a little weird. I'll do it. I'll sing with you. And we'll do it. And the reason I'm doing this is because on higher notes, we want to release any tension right now. I feel like you're pin accurate. You're right on the dot on the note. But I feel like you're almost scared every single note. You go up, you're like, can I go higher? I don't know. Can I go higher? Oh, yes I can. And you can. Every single time you're hitting it. But there's so much tension and stress in between. And you've got it. Because you can sing those notes. I think you're just not, you're not confident. Because you're like, oh, I'm a soprano 2. I'm not a soprano 1. You have a soprano 1 voice. You can hit those notes. You just have to be relaxed and confident. So I'm going to try and sing all the right notes with you. And we're gonna do the gorilla dance. Ready? Here we go. Yeah. So.
Okay, question.
Yes.
So, from here to here is kind of a long breath.
Where would you breathe?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're gonna have to stagger breathe, obviously.
Yeah, because, like, that's a lot of high.
I'd leave out Lu.
Okay.
Or I'd leave out. Yeah, I'd leave out one of these notes because it's right before you hit your other long note.
Mhm.
And I'd just make sure you don't breathe on the super long high note because that's gonna stick out like nobody's business.
Mhm.
But leaving out a note, like I'd leave out an entire quarter note, so and just take an entire breath.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
So that your sneaking in isn't as noticeable. Just do a sound. You go, oh, oh. Yes, and like shake yourself like go, oh, oh. Yeah, come on, even more. Come on, relax. Oh, yes, there you go. I do the same thing. I'm like, every note must be perfect. and that has to be in its perfect place. But part of the fun of singing is that it's very free and very flowy. So just relax. It's like yoga almost for your mind.
Mind yoga.
Mind yoga. You gotta tell yourself to relax. Okay, so let's just start right on here. And I want you to maybe not as much gorilla dance, but just make sure you're bending your knees and relaxing your shoulders. And just make sure that, like, when you're singing those notes, it's not no, 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 but just, like, very relaxed and in between them. And that air is still spinning. That will help a lot, too, if you think about the air connecting all of them.
Okay.
So if you think about your breath just connecting to all of them and you're never releasing from here, then that should also help with that sense of freedom. Okay. I don't want to start you on a high F sharp. I'm not going to be that person. So we're going to go back, and I'm just going to watch you and try to be a pop. So, all right. Here we go. Modifying on the top, not using any consonants. I don't know if he's talking about modification with you on the top. The best way that I've found to do it is modify everything through an O vowel.
Okay.
So, that is going to be a no on top. You're going to be saying no.
Okay.
Instead of no.
Alright.
Which seems like, how are they going to hear what I'm saying? But for some reason, when you're up there, no will sound like na.
Okay.
You can use...
And also the other parts.
Yes. So everything, when you're singing up that high, everything has to, if you don't put everything through the O vowel, everything tends to be very sharp and angular and like kind of pinpointy, like, oh my goodness, wow, the sopranos, they're singing a high note. But like that O vowel just kind of like softens it, you know?
Okay.
Like it's like going through and like a sculptor just kind of like took a piece of sandpaper and like softened the edges a little bit. That's what that O vowel, or sometimes we even use an A vowel. You use a flying U vowel. It's a softening vowel. It takes all of the sharp edges off of all of these vowels. So one more time. I don't really want to wear out your voice, but let's do it one more time. And I think about putting everything through that O vowel so that it softens the edges of it. And it's usually easier on your voice. It feels nicer and sounds nicer. It's like a win-win. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, and you manage that nicely. So does it feel tight at all when you're at the top, or does it feel free? Describe to me how it feels when you're singing up there.
It's not like tight. I don't know. It's
there.
Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. If it ever feels tight, I want you to stop and be like, yo, it feels tight. Because you just might have a naturally less vibrato-y, like I do. I don't have very much vibrato up there. But normally when there is absolutely zero vibrato on a note, it means that there's tension somewhere, and that's not always a good thing. But if you're not feeling any tension and it feels healthy, it might just be a thing of development. And gotta wait for that to come in. That was my whole gig. So let's go actually to the next, since we talked about that. Okay. Wow, they just all happen on really high notes. Love that. Yes. Okay. You can think about that as if that's what helps you. That's the solfege I would use for that transition. Whatever, totally, because you can get from fa mi, then you go to mi, do, do, ti, ti, la. So I would think of fa mi right there. That'll help you. Okay. Wow. Let's actually start right on this note because I don't want to. It's less high than G flat.
Yeah.
So like it is gonna be it. There's gonna be an O there. more of an as I get into like the super high range. But it's still all through an O vowel. In fact, let's just sing it all on O.
Okay.
And just see how it sounds from that part. So it's in D, and a half step you can think about as a half step, but I think using solfege really helps us because it establishes what key are we in. Because you're like, oh great, it's a half step. I know where that is, but like, how do I now sing from that note to that note? You're like, it helps establish exactly what key you're in. Okay. But let's sing this on O. Here we go. And 1. Yes. Okay. I want to make sure I don't do a 35-minute lesson with you. Okay. Perfect. I want to do it again. I want to do it on a lip trill.
Okay.
Your favorite thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I think you actually have the notes down really well. Okay. So I'll give you 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. Yeah. You're using a lot more air, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've done this before in choir. Yes. I want you to start and open up to that O as soon as we get to the long note. And I think you'll hear a huge difference in sound.
Okay.
Hopefully. That's the goal. Ready? 3, 4, 1. Yes. Not only is it louder, it has more resonance. You may talk about overtones in choir all the time.
Yeah.
Overtones, they're a really abstract concept, but you can really tell when you have overtones when it rings in the room and it has resonance.
Mm-hmm.
That had resonance and had a little vibrate to it. It was pretty. I liked that.
Thank you.
All right, so let's do that one more time on the ah, and open up to that ah, and now we're gonna hold that note for a long time. Okay. So we're gonna see if we can maintain. We've done it. We've reached the peak. We did it, but now we gotta maintain it. That's always the hardest part. Sometimes you can do something, right? But then now you have to do it for long extended periods of time.
Yeah.
And that takes endurance. So we're gonna work on that. So same thing, ah. And then we're going to hold this note out for its full duration and see if we can get that ring and resonance in the room that whole time. 3, 4, 1. Yeah, so how did that feel to you?
Felt a lot better.
You feel a lot better?
Yeah.
Okay. I would even think about, it sounded really good to me. I would even, hold on. When you get, I want you to actually bend your knees a little bit. We can even both squat right now. So one more time, and I would think of squat. We're actually gonna squat when we get there. I'll squat with you. 3, 4, 1. How did that feel to you?
It felt better. I don't know, having squat helped relaxing.
Yeah, because you're suddenly, tricky, I'm tricking your brain. When you go like this, you suddenly have to balance, and so you have to think about your core. And so then you're not quite thinking about as much as pushing up here, right? Because you have to engage your core in order for it to sound good.
Yeah.
So we can also do as soon as. Okay, really crazy thing. We're gonna get on the floor. I'm also gonna make sure I don't.
Nah.
We're going to do it while planking.
Oh, shoot.
Or, actually, here's a better idea. Let's start with on one leg. We'll see, we'll up the ante each level. Still the ah, and we're going to see if we can balance while we do it. Ready? 3, 4, 1. How did that feel?
It's a weird position.
It's a weird position.
But it helps.
It does, because you're focused on using your core and not as much as your...
I'm just chilling.
You're so chilling. You've got good balance. I'm not a very good balance person. Okay, you want to try it in a plank? Sometimes the plank doesn't work as well because you're so tense. I mean, at least for me, I'm an athletic. So it causes more tension.
So is this a high plank or elbow plank?
Girl, you do whatever you feel best doing. I can barely do a normal plank. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. Yeah! How did that feel?
So weird. There's my ab exercise.
I was saying,
ab workout for the day.
You're gonna leave this lesson all sweaty. Oh,
What happened? I just got out of vocal lesson.
It's like pretty intense. Anyway, so all this is say, I think if you think about using more air and engaging your core when you sing those high notes, they'll come out more resonant.
Okay.
And I think they'll feel easier and freer for you. But, I mean, it sounds good. Okay, is there another key change in this song?
No, I believe that's the last one.
Okay, do you want to just, let's add a little bit more in between the key changes then.
Okay.
Because we kind of work, right at each key change, but sometimes it's hard, getting into it, right? So, let's start on this measure right here. Spooky. Okay. And I'll just play the piano along lightly and just kind of listen to other things. But I'd really be thinking, I'd be prepared. As soon as I start getting high, it's all going through that O vowel. I'm starting to engage my core and use even more breath. Yes. They tell you that, singing isn't I'm telling you, singing is an athletic thing. It requires a lot of muscle and, you actually have to be, not super athletic. I guess I shouldn't say that. But you do. There's a bit of athleticism involved in singing. You have to start working harder when you go higher. You have to engage your core more. You have to start thinking about releasing, bending your knees, and all going through the O vowel. And it's a lot to think about. I know. Crazy. Who would have ever thought I would be sort of athletic? Okay, so from right here. 3, 4. Yes, and I would just make sure that you're very careful when you go, that you don't muscle it, because you're finally in a range where you can sing. You're like, yes, an E flat, I got this.
Yeah.
But I would still be really careful to stay in your head voice when you come down, because otherwise you'll bump that one. You'll booty bump it. So, instead of, because I can flip right in, because I'm like, oh yes, E flat, I can sing that now. But I'd be very careful to make it very similar on the way down. But yeah, and I think this song is really utilizing what we did in our warm-ups, where we talked about really towards the end, you got to put more breath into it instead of collapsing, because this is a song of long phrases, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
And you're just chilling up there on a high G flat, A flat. So I would really, in fact, when we go back and do our next long one, we're gonna talk about pushing out, and we're gonna do more of that. So let's start right here at measure 23 now. Let's hope I play it. And just make sure, sometimes every once in a while, I can really hear your breathing. And normally when I can hear breathing, it means it's a shallow breath instead of a deep one. If I go, oh sorry, I got some gunk in my throat. But if I go, it's silent. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but normally if you can hear your breath, you're not taking a deep enough breath.
Interesting.
Boom. Or just all sorts of complex things today. Yeah. When you're running out of breath, you need to push more air out. If you can hear your breath, you're breathing too shallow. So I would just keep these hands right here. Let's do it again and keep these hands right here and really remind yourself. That was a bad example because you can hear my breath. But if you drop your jaw, it's literally because the diaphragm is dropping, right? And it's just expanding and allowing. It's like a vacuum. It's sucking in air. Mm-hmm. Like literally, you know, like your vacuum at home, like sucks in all the dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
That's literally when you go like this, you're literally just creating a vacuum and sucking in air.
Okay.
So if you want to think about it that way, that's why this expands like this. So just do breath for me. Yes, one more time. And does it feel expanded? Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should feel it, and you know, even like right back here. A little bit, but like mostly like right underneath that rib cage.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! It's like suddenly, it's like you just ate a really big Thanksgiving dinner. Yes. So one more time, and actually, I'm gonna put my hands right under here if that's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna feel and see whether or not. I'm gonna check whether you're breathing or not, because I think you got these notes. So let's start from here, because I think I'll be able to tell within the first couple seconds. Oh yes, that's a good breath. Okay. 3, 4. Okay, hold on. Okay, I want you to put your hands right here on mine. I'm seeing. Here? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I know this is weird. Yeah. Wait, hold. How much can you feel my lungs moving in?
Not like at all.
Not a lot. If I were to put my hands right here, I can feel your lungs collapsing within the first 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You're already, so I would think if you put your hands right here, don't let it collapse for a second. Just try that and like see if you can put your fingers right here and don't let it collapse for a couple seconds. Because it will eventually collapse because you're letting air out, so it has to collapse eventually. Mm-hmm. But just for like the first 3 notes, see if you can keep it where there's like a little pressure on your finger.
Okay.
So 3, 4, 1. How did that feel?
A lot better.
A lot better?
Yeah.
It wasn't more difficult? That felt better for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's I think a concept that you should think about a lot, because I think it'll help you a ton, is just like when you're breathing, make sure not to collapse those lungs too early. So keep a little bounce. Like if you do that, there should there's like a little should be a little poke and there should be a little bounce there, right? And so you shouldn't let go of it quite yet, right?
Okay.
Just so that you have enough to get through it. Okay. Let me make sure. Oh, cool. We're at 38 minutes. So
wow.
If there's anything else you want to work on before we do it?
I think that's good for today.
Okay, good. Hopefully that was helpful in some way.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. All right.